The Hunger Games is a 2012 American dystopian action film directed by Gary Ross and based on Susan Collins' 2008 novel of the same name. Film sagas based on books for young people always enjoy great success with the audience, but not often with criticism. But if there is one franchise that in recent years has managed to gather appreciation from everyone, it is definitely Hunger Games. The Hunger Games, invented by Susan Collins, have now marked the popular imaginary, making both the book trilogy and the movie quadrilogy an eerie yet irresistible world. We all eagerly follow Katniss Everdeen's adventures, but none of us would want to be in her shoes. Susan Collins is an American television writer and author. She is known as the author of the book series The Hunger Games. She is the youngest of 4 children, who include Catherine, Andrew, and John. As the daughter of a military officer, she and her family were constantly moving. She spent her childhood in the eastern United States. Collins graduated from the Alabama School of Fine Arts in Birmingham in 1980 as a theater arts major. She completed her Bachelor of Arts degree from Indiana University Bloomington in 1985 with a double major in theater and telecommunications. In 1989, Collins earned her Master of Fine Arts in Dramatic Writing from the New York University Tisch School of the Arts. Susan Collins began her career in 1991 as a writer for children's television shows. She worked on several shows for Nickelodeon, but in 2003 she wrote the 5 books of the Underland Chronicles: Grigor the Overlander, Grigor and the Prophecy of Bane, Grigor and the Curse of the Wormbloods, Grigor and the Marks of Secret, and Grigor and the Code of Claw. In September 2008, Scholastic Press released The Hunger Games, the first book of a trilogy by Collins. The Hunger Games was partly inspired by the Greek myth of Theseus and the Minotaur. Another inspiration was her father's career in the Air Force, which gave her insight to poverty, starvation, and the effects of war. The nation of Panem is divided into 12 districts, ruled from the capital. As punishment for a failed revolt, each district is forced to select 2 tributes, 1 boy and 1 girl, between the ages of 12 and 18, to fight to the death in the annual Hunger Games until there is only one survivor. 16-year-old Katniss Everdeen of District 12 volunteers to take her younger sister Primrose's place in the 74th Hunger Games. She and fellow tribute Peeta Mellark are escorted to the capital by their chaperone Effie Trinket and the mentor Haymitch Abernathy, the game's only living winner from District 12. Haymitch stresses the importance of gaining sponsors, as they can provide potentially life-saving gifts during the games. While training, Katniss observes the careers Marvel, Glimmer, Cato, and Clove, volunteers from the wealthy districts 1 and 2, who have trained for the games from an early age. During a televised interview with Cesar Flickerman, Peeta expresses his love for Katniss, which she initially sees as an attempt to attract sponsors. She later learns his admission is genuine. At the start of the games, Katniss grabs some of the supplies placed around the cornucopia, a structure at the starting point, and narrowly escapes death. Half of the 24 tributes die in the initial melee, and only 11, including all 4 carriers, survive the first day. Katniss tries to stay away from the others, but Seneca Crane, the head game maker, triggers a forest fire to drive her towards them. She runs into the carriers, with whom Peeta has seemingly allied, and flees up a tree. Peeta advises the carriers to wait her out. The next morning, Katniss notices Rue, District 11's young female tribute, hiding in an adjacent tree. Rue draws her attention to a nest of genetically modified venomous wasps. Using a knife, Katniss causes the nest to fall on the carriers sleeping below. Glimmer dies, but the others escape. Katniss becomes disoriented from being stung a few times. Peeta returns and tells her to flee. Rue helps Katniss recover, and they become friends and allies. Katniss destroys the supplies the carriers stockpiled by detonating mines guarding them, while Rue provides a distraction. Katniss later finds and frees Rue from a trap, but Marvel throws a spear which impales Rue. Katniss kills him with an arrow. She comforts Rue by singing to her, and after she dies, adorns her body with flowers, triggering a riot in District 11. President Coriolanus Snow warns Crane about the unrest. Haymitch persuades Crane to change the rules to allow 2 winners provided they are from the same district, suggesting that this will pacify the public. After the announcement, Katniss finds a gravely wounded Peeta. Another announcement promises that what each survivor needs the most will be provided at the cornucopia the next morning. Despite Peeta's vehement opposition, Katniss leaves to get medicine from him, but she is ambushed and overpowered by Chloe, who gloats about Rue's death and prepares to dispatch her. Trash, District 11's male tribute, overhears and kills Chloe. He spares Katniss once for Rue's sake. The medicine heals Peeta overnight. While hunting for food, Katniss hears a cannon go off, signaling a death. She races to Peeta, who has unwittingly collected deadly nightlock berries. They discover Foxface, District 5's female tribute, poisoned by the nightlock she collected after watching Peeta. Crane then unleashes genetically modified beasts that kill Trash and force Katniss, Peeta, and Cato, the last 3 survivors, to climb onto the cornucopia's roof. Cato gets Peeta in a headlock and uses him as a human shield against Katniss' bow. Peeta directs Katniss to shoot Cato's hand, enabling Peeta to throw him to the beasts below. Katniss kills him with an arrow to end his suffering. Crane then revokes the rule change, allowing 2 victors to win. Peeta urges Katniss to shoot him, but she convinces him to eat Nightlock together. Just before they do, Crane hastily declares them co-victors. Afterward, Haymitch warns Katniss that she has made enemies through these acts of defiance. Snow has Crane locked in a room with Nightlock berries, after which the wily president considers his next move. There is no doubt that the film's success is also due to an outstanding cast, led by Jennifer Lawrence, accompanied by Josh Hutcherson, Woody Harrelson, Elizabeth Banks, Jenny Kravitz, and Liam Hemsworth. But even highly successful movies based on books have their differences and changes in stories and characters. Here are the differences between the book and the Hunger Games movie. In the book, Katniss Mockingjay pin is given to her by the mayor's daughter, Madge. The gesture comes as a surprise to Katniss, first because she thought Madge didn't like her, then because it is a small sign of rebellion since the Mockingjay represents a symbol of awareness and revolution for the Panem government. In the film, however, Katniss finds the brooch by accident. By the power of the Mockingjay is not explained. During the opening ceremony in the film, Peeta takes Katniss' hand and in this way ingratiates himself with the crowd at the parade. In the book, however, it is the idea of Cinna, the tribute designer, who in this way begins to reveal that he wants to help the two boys survive. In the book, the role of the Avocs, voiceless servants, is subtle but constant. Katniss recognizes a red-haired Avocs in the book, while no mention is made in the film. Finding water in the arena where she's left with the other tributes is quite difficult for Katniss in the book. She spends an entire day searching for it among trees and pitfalls to overcome. Her job is to survive in the wilderness, but the girl is sick to the point of asking for help from Haymitch, her official mentor, who, however, is silent. Katniss thus realizes that she's close. In the film, however, Katniss finds water just after the initial shot of the games, after the cornucopia, the huge platform that the tributes must reach to retrieve food and resources. Sponsors are people or groups of people who become attached to a particular tribute and help it survive through gifts they send to the arena. Their gifts in the film are always accompanied by a note justifying the gesture. In the book, however, it is up to Katniss to interpret their meaning. In the book, to heal Peeta of his wounds, Katniss drags him to fall asleep and run for medicine. In the film, however, she simply waits for Peeta to fall asleep and then sneaks away. In both the film and the book, Cato is an important character. He's perhaps the most ruthless tribute, as well as the luckiest, given that he belongs to one of the richest districts, the second, which has always been trained to participate in the Hunger Games. But while in the movie he shows a fragile and human side in the finale, in the book he remains a crazy psychopath until the end.